Uh-oh, my seat's turned around. And I lost my pad. You know, I don't even know why I do these videos or write notes down. I had a note written down, put it in my pocket, and I lose my note. It's tough getting old and senile, guys, but I am doing it very well, very fast, and it's kind of frustrating. I really don't have nothing. I don't really have a video. I'm working on this stuff here and this stuff here, so I'm just gonna. It's just gonna be a jabber. But what I did see was I went down to, and now I don't remember the name of the place. It was a gentleman that bought Mike McCoy's old sawmill. So I was watching him today, and he was having setworks problems, and I hope he gets it figured out. But he mentioned another guy, Andrew's Lumber, and it's ANDRUW''S Lumber. Real good show. It was his first channel today I watched. I think Mark's already been down there, and I think they might be affiliated with the Saw Doctor down in the Carolinas. I had all this stuff written down there and I just don't remember it. But pay attention to the t-shirt, and if you need some saw work down there, I met those guys up at Bunyan last year. Hope that they'll be up there again this year. But you need to go by and check out Andrews and McCoy's old sawmill, but I don't remember the name of that place. And I don't know how to put a link, and I don't know how to do all that stuff. Sorry about that, but I don't have much going on. It was rainy and nasty yesterday. I went into town to buy some stuff to work on that saw blade that's going up the Bunyan show, and nobody in town had the stuff, so then I came back and ordered. If you ever need anything ordered and you're looking for a place to find it, McMaster-Carr, they have it. So I got these little things. Probably wouldn't take up I don't know, a package the size of a pillbox, but it still costs you $10 to ship it. And then I got a message this morning that the shipping was all messed up. I don't know, and I need it because Jeffrey's going. Murphy spends too much time here. That's what I guess maybe I'm trying to tell you. Murphy's spending too much time here. So I was going to, and I'll show you what Murphy just did to me a little while ago. These are the saw teeth. These are the saw teeth that are going to be going on the show, and I was going to do a video on why I had to put saw teeth into this saw, and I didn't have to do it in last year's saw. Last year's saw was a number 3. This is a B pattern saw, but I had to grind all the tips off of all these teeth so I'd have some. And I don't know if you saw the short. We'll run you in the house real quick. I had to do all the saw shanks too. A lot of stuff always in the way. I'm a mess, so maybe that should be the disclaimer at the beginning. I'm a mess. I redid all the saw shanks. Actually, I didn't redo them. They're all brand new, except for one. Oh, some people ask me, there's one of them in there that's different. I don't know where it's at right now, but it's in there. One of them is different. And a couple people texted me and said they found the one that was different. Those have all been moved around, so I don't know if it's in the same spot, but I think they were right. Anyhow, I was going to paint these red because I thought it would look neat, and then I decided I polished them. So they look pretty good. I don't know if you can, they almost look like they're chrome, but they're not. And I had a couple over here that when I was getting out, this is how quick they'll rust. This is from yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Now these seem to stay pretty good. This is a number 3, which was what the saw was last year. See how it has, maybe I can show you here. The saw blade comes up and stops right here, so the blade transfers its power from here right to here, and it made real weak saw blades. So they changed it to what they call a double circle. I got some chalk here. Double circle, the cutout to where the shanks go, and then there's another cutout here where this goes into. So instead of having a direct power or direct contact to the back of the blade, it transfers it all the way down there, and it's just a lot more beefy and a lot better saw. This wouldn't be in here. So it's what they call a double circle saw blade. I hope you guys understand it. See, this would then fit all the way down in there, and then your saw's coming up right through here, where this one here, like I said, the saw stopped right there. So it's a little different. But anyhow, speaking of Murphy, I got to put the underneath coat on these, and I'm trying to get the paint to come in from this direction so it doesn't get down into those grooves, because I got to put these in a blade and I don't need any buildup. But the tip, I don't know if you can see that, the little plastic tip up there that keeps your, that pushes that needle down, broke off. Never seen that, never had it happen before. But of course, when I'm into something, that's what's going to happen. And you can't push down on that with your finger. It hurts. Now maybe because my bark's so thin, I don't have enough calluses on there. So you're just going to see me paint this, a couple coats on this. Pretty interesting. You're actually watching paint dry. I ain't no painter. This is clear. So hopefully, sorry to get in your way. That's it. Those are painted. I ain't doing no more to them. I already painted the other side. So that's that. So I thought I'd come in and do a little show and tell around my messy shop. So don't sit there and tell me I got a messy shop, because I have the messiest shop. I get the award for OSHA rewards for mess. Well, I might outdo myself on this one. I'm going to have to make the legs smaller on this thing so I can get it in there. I was going to show you how I sharpen saw blades and that kind of crap in here. Now, back in the late 80s, there weren't a whole bunch of people sharpening saw blades. And so I bought one of these, and it was like $4 a clip to sharpen saw blades. So I bought one of these Stihl. I'll take you off the tripod so you can look around. Stihl saw blade sharpeners. And it wasn't cheap in the late 80s either. But it's been a good machine. It still works. I don't use it much anymore. Have a little light back here. You can mount it on a table, or you can mount it on a wall. Kind of favor Stihl a little bit, or I don't know. Kind of like them. They got pretty good stuff. Now, what this thing has, everybody's got the normal left, right, and that kind of stuff. And then this pushes up against here the blade. Now this one has I got to tighten this down so I can move it. This has an in and out, if you see that. So you're either catching the outer one or the inner one. So you flip that back and forth. And what's interesting about these Stihl is, see how you have the tooth is to the left of the center thing or to the right of the center thing, or opposite, because I didn't make everything backwards. Anyhow, what Stihl had done, which I thought was nice, is they have a thing in the back, so that's straight over, if you can see the zero. So you'd either go +10 or -10, and that would compensate for that the difference in this little section right here, or so I've been told. I don't know. And there's a thing under here, you just tighten it. So when I'm in this position, oh, I tightened that up. This position here, and you tighten it down. Okay, I want to be on the plus side in the back, and when I'm on this side here, it's the same thing. I want to be on the minus side, and that gets your gullet just right. So that's one thing that I wanted to show you guys. But I don't use that. They didn't have all the fancy sharpeners back then. They had a file, and I wasn't too good with a file, and I was doing a lot of sawing back in the 80s and early 90s. Saw chains, I got a million chains here. There are chains everywhere. There's chains on the floor. Then I got bars. How many bars you want? This is a 36-inch bar. I don't see any point in putting a 36-inch bar on if you're don't need it. That just means more teeth to sharpen, heavier saw, all that kind of stuff. I think that's my old 24-inch bar before I went to the Canon bar, and that's the old 16-inch bar that came with a saw originally. Here's different, you can see different 36-inch chains. This one here, that might be a sacrificial 24-inch chain, and there's more chains behind it. There's chains on the floor down here. Here's some more chains. These look like 24s, and I have, I guess, well, there's a backup saw for the 041 right there. I think, yeah, 041. Okay. Then there's the 66, the 201, and my original saw, or not my original saw. That was my second saw I bought back in '83. And this was the box I used to carry, and it had a place for all different kind of little things here. There's another chain in there. There's a turtle. Use this tool to sharpen chains for a while. Here's something that I bet you guys may have never seen. I got two of them. I don't even know if you can get these anymore. But if you have a, if you want to clean out the, whatever you call it, bar, okay, I have to get a bar. I got a bar out there. I'll take it out there. Also got, oh, I got it out there to show you what I'm going to do with that. This would go down in the bar here like this and clean the debris out of the bar. That's what that's for. You can see a little bit in there. And I used to do that. I would saw until the saw got a little bit sharp, then I'd come back and take everything apart, clean it all up, you know, gas it, oil it, everything, clean the bar. And the old saws have an oil spot in them. I don't know that one done. The new Cannon bars have an oil spot in them where you got to put grease in them. I doubt that you can see it, but there's a dot right there, and it takes a grease gun. Well, it takes one like this. It's got a needle in it, and that works good. I'll throw that back in there so I can lose it later. Haven't lost it yet. So anyhow, that was a box, and this actually was cut out and went in like that. And I've had that box for years and years and years. I use these saws over here to put oil in the front up there. You always spilled oil all over. You couldn't dump the gallon jug in like you can nowadays. So I went to this, so I didn't have to take a big jug out, and you put it in and very, very controlled, so you didn't lose any running down the saw and stuff like that. It just worked a lot better. There's brushes in here for brushing things off, wooden wedges for different things. I had everything in here. I haven't used this box in a long time because I don't need it anymore. Things have changed. Sometimes you do chalk to draw your lines, and then I went to, I can't even get this one out, went to log crayons. I kind of like the log crayons. I'm even thinking about going to another method yet, but I haven't, for marking logs. Kicking it around, but I haven't got there yet. The reason I go with the Cannon bars is because this groove in here on a regular bar, they start to open up. They start to open up, and as they open up, okay, then your blade starts to wobble. If your blade starts to wobble, you're cutting a wider track through the log, and it takes more horsepower. It takes you longer to get through, which is just, that's why the little electric saws are running such fine kerf blades, because it doesn't take as much power, then go fast. Here's some more blades here. Here's a stack even back here of more blades. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for different saws. There's some in my car too. Turn this light out because we're not going to be there anymore. Yeah, I got a lot of chains, and most of the time I would only use them 2 or 3 times and trash them anyway, or hang them on the hook there. Those chains have been there since the 80s probably. So that's what that is, and I forgot to bring my tripod out. So I'm going to show you something else that's going on. When I was setting the original Sawmill 35 years ago, I guess, somewhere around there, I had to have a way to cut the poles off straight. Excuse me, or level. Now I had a transit, and you could find where level was, but you couldn't cut those telephone poles off level, and they were all different different thicknesses, different rounds. So let me hold on a second. Let me get this other bar up here and show you. You'll see what that was. This is an old bar. The old steel bars used to have the holes in them up there. See that hole? That's for the grease gun. This is the blade that goes with this, so I just kind of keep it with that. But see all the holes in there? I guess you can see that. This is for even longer, because I've cut some pretty big telephone poles, and if you want them flat at it, is what you do is, if you can imagine, say this is your pole here. That could be this big, it could be up to the width of that. So and then I have 2 holes in here, I got 2 holes in it, I just transfer it over. So you can go any width you want. Then you screw a 2x4 into this side or into this side, 2x6, 2x10. You can put just about anything in there you want that's easy. But when I was setting up the first sawmill, I had some 16-foot 2x4s, and I put them down the whole row of poles, and then I just went down there and they all just came off. Of course, this one, the white one's running there. You just get the chainsaw in there and you're buzzing along, and that way. I think I went the other direction though. And if your boards here are level, one to the next, to the next, to the next, they're going to come off square. That's how I did the those big poles on the pole building. Oh, there's my note. Andrews, ANDRUW' lumber. And check out the t-shirt he's got on down there. Him or the other guy is Saw Doctor down there, and Temple Hill Sawmills. That's who's got that. That was in my pocket too. That's how senile I'm getting, unfortunately. But check those guys out. Now my train crashed. Anyhow, so it didn't matter what size the pole was, and it was best if you could hook it to 2 poles so you could have a long stretch done easier. But if you couldn't, if you could just take a 2x6, and what it's going to be, I got kind of a half, you know what, but you'd put it here wherever you wanted the line. I can't see that you're in there. You'd put it here where you wanted the line, and you just go down, didn't matter what size they were. And this thing here kind of moves a little bit. Well, it does, believe me or not. You can move it a little bit, so if you're going out to a bigger log, you can stay on line and stuff like that. Kind of like an Alaskan sawmill or something like that. So that's how I cut all those poles in the. I've used that thing a million times. You only use it once, who knows how long. And very handy piece. Now for back to sharpening blades. Now I've been using that those Stihl 2-in-1s or whatever. Been using these things, and they seem to work pretty good. I ain't sponsored by Stihl, don't have nothing free from Stihl. Trying to get them as dedicated as I am to those guys, and as many millions of dollars I spent, I'd like to see them send me an electric top saw, that new electric top saw. But I don't think that's going to happen. That's going to go to Mike Morgan. I think he's already got it. But he deserves it. He's a good hard worker, and he does better videos than me, that's for sure. So that's where we're at. I've got the paint on these. That puddled down to the downside. So now I got to put you in the tripod and turn that around, because I don't want puddles on there. It would look like I didn't know what I was doing. Of course, I can't even get the camera to go in the tripod anymore. Ah, Lordy. These are, you can't tell, but these are angled down a little bit. So if I take the screw out of that way, it should angle them back the other way. Might need something just a little bit more tippy. A little bit more tippy than that. I got little puddles at the end because it ran down, which it really isn't going to affect it. I just didn't want it in this. This one will have my finger. If I get in that back edge, it's going to be real hard to put in the saw. The reason I'm painting them is because they'll rust so fast, and I don't want that saw to rust. And I got a lot of money in that saw now to go up to Bunyan Show. A lot more than last year's on time. My gosh, I got hours on that saw. Believe it or not, it doesn't seem that way, but that's the way it is. I think that's going to be a wrap for this one. This one's going on tonight because I don't have anything else going on. It's too wet to kind of do anything here. If it dries out later this afternoon, I might try to split a little bit of wood. I'm going to go pick up the sawmill down at Jeffrey's tomorrow. Whether we put these in down there or up here, I do not know yet. I'll probably put them in up here because he's getting ready to he's got a lake house up in Pennsylvania on a big lake up there, and they go up there randomly throughout the year and have it. And so it's a Labor Day weekend, so I can't blame him. It's supposed to be nice. Anyhow, I painted the collar. Somebody suggested last year that I needed to paint this collar. It was that color, and I painted it, so I repainted it this year. I got to get my tripod, my easel tripod stand to hold the blade. I got to resurrect it and make sure I got all the bolts and everything. And that's, even though Bunyan is 3 weeks away, I have 2 other shows between now and the Bunyan show. I have the one up at Carroll County where we're just kind of getting together on that, and that's kind of a strange situation. Then I have the Carlisle car show, which I'm trying to get stuff ready to go up for that. And then, you know, you got a day in between the 2 shows basically, so it's kind of, I'll get home from Carlisle on Saturday, and then I got to leave for Bunyan a few days later, so I got to unload everything from Carlisle. And then I got to unload everything. I take all the equipment up to the sawmill up in the Carroll County show, so we're going to be setting that up on Thursday, is kind of the plan. So that might, unless I do a random worthless wood splitting show on, that's about, might be the next show, kind of setting that up. But that's a hard thing to do because it takes hours to set that up, and I could video for hours, but I gotta learn how to edit. That's what, oh, paid the light bill again, remember? Light goes on off. Anyhow, I've done enough rambling. This is long enough. That's what's going on. I'm trying to get some stuff done, and we will see you later. Thanks for stopping by.